completely destroyed the vacant building. Across the way there's another building, and there were no employees in it, of course, during the early morning hours.
They're not laying in any particular direction. So
yeah, and Dale, that clearly indicates that a tornado did this damage, and we, of course, suspected all along.
Oh, and there's one of the trucks that you say blew off the road there.
Right, and matter of fact, just up from there is also a couple cars that were thrown into the ditch, and I believe that's probably where our fatalities came from.
And you know that the thing is, you get these winds, Dale, that are in excess of 100 miles an hour. These trucks, look at that big semi right there, or at the very least your car. It's just like a little matchbox car out there. Those winds get underneath, they flip them up and they flip them off there, and that's why it's best to just leave your car, get in with those ditches that you can see along the roads, or typically most anywhere, and get in there and hopefully get into a low spot, and hopefully you'll be safe.
And from Chopper 9 here, you can see just exactly how straight a line is that the storm went through, and almost draw a line as a result of looking at all the destruction there. So that's Interstate 275 down below?
Right, Randy, this is 275. This is where we've got two cars and a semi-truck which were tossed off the road on the westbound side. The eastbound side had one truck jackknifed across the road. They do have all the traffic moving on these roads now. It's going to take hours to get the backups through this area. But this is exactly the point where the tornado crossed 275, where these vehicles were tossed. This is right in the vicinity of Sycamore High School.
Now, Sycamore High School, I understand, has been turned into a bit of a staging area there, specifically because of the Air Care helicopter. Is that correct?
Yes, Air Care's made several hops from Sycamore High School. We're also seeing the Red Cross is established here. They made several hops from here to Bethesda and also back to UC Medical Center. They've been in and out of here all morning, and like I said, Red Cross is here. They brought in school buses, I believe, where they're bringing some of the people, some of the people in some of the neighborhoods that were totally destroyed. I believe they're bringing them in here sort of as a shelter.
We just want to mention that Pete, most of the storms have left the area, right? There's no danger right now.
They sure have. As a matter of fact, I believe we still have Doppler radar up. If we can go to that very quickly, we can show everyone that things have calmed down. That's a little false echo around the radar site. About the only thing left, Randy, over there just east of Cincinnati in Highland County, a stray shower. We're going to dry out, and you can see that the sun's starting to peek out there right now. It's going to turn out to be a nice day, as it typically does after a storm like this, but we have another chance for some strong thunderstorms late Saturday night, so we're going to have to keep an eye on those as well. But that wasn't the only area that was hit. You know, we haven't had our photographers, I believe, get into southeast Indiana as of yet. Chick Poppy, of course, was down in Hamilton County, and he was able to see what took place down around Addiston. But, you know, Ripley County, Dearborn County as well, near Aurora, near Lawrenceburg, I'm sure they have some damage there also.
But this seems to be the most highly damaged because of the concentration of residents in this particular, and the concentration of businesses. A lot of, let's say, restaurants up in the Harper's Point, Harper Station area, heavily damaged up there. And again, once again, we want to have the sightseers stay away from these areas. Police and fire need the areas open. Let's go over to Mike Schmidt now, who's at the Smart Traveler Center, who can tell us a little bit more about the traffic areas and traffic tie-ups. Mike, what's going on over there?
Well, they do have some lanes open on 275 and on 71, and traffic is moving, but it is very slow and long delays, so just avoid I-71 and 275 in those areas. Let me show you on the map. 71 southbound, once again, the accident in Pfeiffer. They do have lanes of traffic moving, but southbound apparently backed up to around Fields Erdel Road, which is quite a delay. 275 eastbound trying to get over to 71. It's backed up from about Mostella Road. 71 northbound also slowing through the area. 275 westbound, well, it has its own problems. 275 westbound is slow, actually northbound, up to Montgomery Road to about 28. Let's take a look at our cameras. 75 taking a big hit this morning. Here's northbound at Buttermilk Pike into the Dixie Highway construction zone. Then as you continue northbound, slowing up a little bit on the Brent Spence Bridge northbound. Here's a look at I-75 northbound at I-74. Traffic's backed up to Hopple Street and continues slow up to Paddock Road. A lot of extra traffic on 75 this morning. And here's a look at 75 southbound. This is just before Galbraith. It slows around the Ronald Reagan Highway to just south of Paddock. I'm Mike Schmidt from the Artemis Control Center.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. We just want to mention to you that this is a live picture from Chopper 9, and Dale Williams is over Sycamore High School. We mentioned just a few minutes ago it's turned into a staging area. And Dale, what's going on there? I see they had a yellow tarp just directly to the left of where the camera is. What's that all about?
I believe that's going to be probably a decon area. I'm not exactly sure what that's set up for. They've set, I see some more tarps out there laying down also. I'm not sure what those are for at this point. I do know that I just heard UC's medical helicopter state that they have established a command post at Blue Ash Airport, and then this is going to be the shelter set up with the Red Cross, and they're going to bus people in and out, take care of probably some minor injuries here, and feed these people whose homes were just totally destroyed. And probably most of them, a person's home's their biggest investment. Probably a lot of lives devastated right now, a lot of emotional support needed.
Yeah, hundreds of lives have changed as a result of the storm that went through at 5 o'clock this morning. Now, as you're going to the right here, but before you leave that area, we also saw some damage there to the back end of the school. Is that damage, or is that just a construction area there on the back of the school and not really associated with the storm?
That appears to be construction from what I see up here. It doesn't seem to be any damage to the school itself. There's a lot of construction debris and stuff off to the side that has not been blown. However, if you go 100 yards to the southeast of the school, this is what you see right here, what Rich is showing us right now. Subdivisions, houses leveled, trees are just totally stripped of all their branches. Nothing but the strongest trunks are standing up. And this is also where we see the pattern of the swirling, as Pete was talking about earlier.
You know, Dale, the last time I've seen damage, I mean, this is, like as Randy's mentioned, this is a highly populated area. The last time I've seen damage like this was with Hurricane Andrew when it went through South Florida, and you probably remember that as well, working down there, where it just leveled these areas, and that's what's taken place up there in Blue Ash and Montgomery. Some of these neighborhoods have just been totally flattened with this.
Right, it does. It appears the same way. This is just a small, focused, the same amount of energy that Andrew provided. This is just like a focused on this particular area, small, intense, quick, and did the same results.
Absolutely.
You were going to pan away then and move to a different area. Didn't know what your plan was there, but let's go ahead and do that, and you can give us a little bit more of a tour. What direction are you heading to now from the school so we can get an idea?
Okay, right now the camera's panning, Randy, to the south, west, towards Blue Ash. That's 71 right there where the tornado crossed. You can see the heavy congestion there, and then it goes across into some of the industrial areas. It destroyed several warehouses through here, and I believe this is about the initial touchdown area.
Yeah, we can see the Pfeiffer Road exit right there. It's just saying, the sign saying it's about a half a mile away, so it's close to Interstate 71, you say? And
yeah, that's 71. There's another truck that was flipped over. That's exactly where all the damage came across. You could almost take a chalk line from Blue Ash Airport to Fields Earl area, and I mean, everything's destroyed in that path. It's about half a mile wide, about 3 to 5 miles long. Now, as the more we look, it seems like the more damage we see. But this is the industrial park just north of Pfeiffer Road, just off of 71 to the west.
And you can see, Randy, how it leveled one side of those buildings there and just left the other ones completely intact. And that's what a tornado does. It just goes through and it just cuts that path like Dale's been talking about, that we've been seeing here with these pictures.
That's the signature that it leaves behind. And certainly as a result of all that damage, it's opened up pipes, it's opened up water pipes and natural gas pipes. And so that's why police and fire officials want to keep sightseers away from this area, because it is still dangerous. CG&E has crews out right now dealing with the isolated downed power lines and the natural gas leaks. So they're busy working on that. We also want to mention some of the school closings while we examine this damage here. Just think of the amount of energy it took to remove the back end of that building and the roof. Amazing. Sycamore schools are closed. The Sycamore High School has been turned into a center, a Red Cross center now for some of the residents. Some of the buses being moved in there in Sycamore High School. Other school closings at this hour: Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy, Milford Exempted Schools closed, Stepping Stones Center is closed, and that's the list we have now. We have Wilmington schools under a 1-hour delay, Butler County MRDD under a 1-hour delay, and let's see, Indian Hill Exempted, the parent-teacher conferences for kindergarten through 5th grade still going on, but Indian Hill Exempted is closed now.
Randy, I think it might be the right time to recap here. It's 8:30. Just to let everyone know, if we have some people that are just starting to join us right now, just exactly what's taken place. Around 4 o'clock this morning, we did have a tornado warning issued for Ripley County, which is in southeast Indiana. A tornado was finally reported on the ground in Ripley County at about 4:15 this morning. That tornado then moved through Ripley County. It moved into Dearborn County. It moved past Aurora, Lawrenceburg. Folks are familiar with that area there. It then moved through the northern part of Boone County, and then it crossed into Hamilton County, right near the river, right around Addiston. And then it moved through Hamilton County, very close, just to the west of downtown Cincinnati. And then it actually moved right along 75, and then it moved along 71, right up to Blue Ash, and then up into the Montgomery, that 275 area up there where 71 and 275 intersect. And the pictures that we've been seeing this morning are just incredible. Finally, when it moved up into Warren County, northern Warren and northern Clinton County, it did start to fizzle out. But this all really developed around 4 o'clock this morning. That's when the first warning was issued. A tornado watch was issued for the whole tri-state around 1:30 or 2 o'clock this morning.
And you were here helping to issue those tornado warnings and watches. You watched the storm as it developed, that supercell develop out in southeast Indiana, and then work its way east.
Yeah, we did. And you want people to know that when you say, hey, we're going to be here all night, we are. I mean, that's part of our job here, and this is definitely what we're supposed to do. And here you can see one of the Air Care helicopters landing there. Is that Sycamore High School, Randy?
I believe so. Dale Williams mentioned that Blue Ash Airport was going to be used for some of this, but I think also, Dale, it's easier for the police and fire agencies to get to Sycamore High School. What do you think?
Right. Yeah. This is one of numerous trips that they've made in here to the high school. They set up a command post at Blue Ash Airport. However, they're doing a lot of their pickups from the school itself here. And I believe they're taking care of minor injuries here. They're bringing folks from the neighborhoods to the Sycamore School. It's set up as a shelter, and then those who need to be transported are being transported as required. And obviously, they're coming back for another run. They've made numerous trips from the school to Bethesda and also to UC itself. They've made several trips. They've got 3 helicopters running. I believe 2 of them are in service right now, shuttling back and forth.
And you know, Dale, we're obviously seeing one of the hardest hit, if not the hardest hit area in the tri-state, but we haven't seen any pictures from southeast Indiana. Not only that, but a couple of tornado warnings were issued for Owen County, Grant County, and Pendleton County down in northern Kentucky, and we haven't seen any pictures from there either. So although this is probably the hardest hit area, there were several other spots in the tri-state during the wee hours of the morning that at least had the potential for seeing some tornadoes as well.
We just have this into the Channel 9 newsroom. It's from the city of Blue Ash. The city of Blue Ash has declared a emergency advisory, and here's what they want to do. Citizens and business people located north of Pfeiffer Road are most affected by the tornado conditions. There is widespread damage, says the city of Blue Ash, trees down, gas leaks in the area. The city of Blue Ash wanted us to let you know that officers are on duty and that the whole area is secure. This is you're looking at pictures now around Sycamore High School. This is the Red Cross area. You can see the big red pluses on the side of those trucks there. That means the Red Cross is there, and this is now an emergency shelter for the residents just a block away from there whose homes have been destroyed. We also understand from the city of Blue Ash, access to the areas north of Pfeiffer Road have now been restricted to emergency vehicles only. Just a few minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, Blue Ash reporting traffic is at a standstill. Access remains very difficult to that area, and so the Blue Ash City is requesting all vehicular traffic in the city of Blue Ash be restricted today. And they'll let you know when people can go out into that area. But certainly it'll be a few hours while police lock down and secure that area.
We have some more information also, Randy. The Blue Ash Police have given us some more information.
Oh, yes. The death toll has unfortunately gone up now. There are now 6 deaths, according to what Blue Ash Police tell us. 6 deaths as a result of the tornado going through here. And they're trying to confirm further situations that may be going on. The urban search and rescue crews are now going through these homes, trying to make sure that it's only 6 deaths, but they really don't know for sure, and so that's something that the police and fire and urban search and rescue are doing right now.
And you know, you're going to hear people as the days go on here talk about how strong this tornado was, and even if someone's injured, let alone 6 people losing their lives, it just doesn't matter how strong the tornado is, Randy. You know, it's anything when it comes to tornadoes is devastating, and clearly this is right there.
Also want to mention to you, in case you had some surgeries scheduled at Bethesda North Hospital, all elective surgeries have been canceled at Bethesda North today. And all activities at the Tri-Health Pavilion have been canceled because of a roof collapse there from the storm. And that's the situation as far as the hospitals go. Bethesda Hospital North reporting 7 injured people seen. That figure is from 7:30 this morning. All cuts and lacerations from blowing glass. And I think that's one reason why you tell people, stay away from the windows.
And that was one thing that I was telling people this morning. I don't worry about the windows. You hear people say, well, I'm going to open up the window and I'm going to equal the pressure in the house. Don't do that. That's an old wives' tale. Just leave the windows alone. You get near those windows, the glass blows out, and then you get reports like that. So just stay away from the windows. Get in the basement, the smallest room that you have in your house. We've had a lot of people tell us that they were doing that this morning, and thankfully, those people that we've heard from, they have been okay as well. And we've got good weather in our forecast today, Randy. We have sunshine that's going to come back out. I believe we have the 5-day forecast up and running for you. A little bit cooler than what we had yesterday. High temperature today is going to be right around 68, so we've got some sunshine there now. Saturday's not a bad day, but you know, Saturday night, just like we had last night, we could see some more showers and thunderstorms, and there's a slight chance some of those could be strong. I didn't mention severe, but there is a slight chance at this point some of those could be strong, and of course, we'll have more details on the forecast as we go through today and into tonight. But again, the devastation from above Blue Ash and Montgomery, north of Cincinnati, is just it's just incredible.
So if people with a hole in their roof, they have 24 hours or so to get a tarp up
I would
cover
think
that
that
area.
they are going to have some time, and as you pointed out, Randy, earlier, the Red Cross is there. The nice thing about a city like Cincinnati is people are really going to come together. They're going to come together. You've already heard that the police departments from the different areas are coming together, the fire departments. Everyone's going to get together and help each other out. And that's what's nice about living in the Midwest.
Well, that's what's nice about living in Cincinnati, because
sure
Cincinnati
is.
certainly does come out to help the neighbors. Back to the chopper here. Dale, where's this picture coming from?
This is coming from just north of 275 across the interstate from Sycamore High School. This is the tornado passed just missing Sycamore High School just to the east, about probably 200 yards at most. Destroyed homes, hopped across the interstate. That's where it flipped the truck and the cars, where we ended up with a couple fatalities, and then entered into this subdivision, which is just north of 275 and just to the west of Montgomery Road. A lot of upscale homes totally destroyed. I don't think tarps are going to cover these holes. Most of these homes the roofs are completely gone. The ones that do have a little bit left, there's more damage inside. They don't need to protect.
Obviously the damage there is very severe, and what I said about tarps certainly wouldn't apply there. As I'm looking at a map, I'm seeing some names like Marlette Drive or Ironwood Court or the Brookwood Drive area. That's, as I look at this map, directly to the north of Sycamore High School. So those could be some of the streets that we're looking at here. I'm trying to get an idea of the patterns.
And you know, Randy, when Dale, when he mentioned those streets, those are streets that we mentioned. Ironwood Court, Randy, is one street that we mentioned this morning on our Storm Tracker Doppler radar. We have that capability where we can actually pick streets out, and I clearly remember that Ironwood Court was one of those streets that I mentioned this morning. You get that red cell, that tornadic cell sitting on top of an area, and we're able to actually pinpoint those areas, and there you can see the damage. And people ask me all the time, they say, well, boy, you just don't see damage in these areas like that, and you clearly could see here that Mother Nature doesn't play favorites, but the reason that you don't see this happen as often as you see maybe other areas damaged is because you have more outlying areas. You have more rural areas than more cities for tornadoes to take their mark on.
There's a certain irony here, a coincidence. Almost to the day, 25 years ago, the Xenia tornadoes happened.
Yeah, that was, I believe, April 4th.
April 3rd.
April 3rd, April 4th.
Yeah, 25 years ago. So here we are just about a week later dealing with tornadoes.
That's right, and we just did a report last week on that and how the warning systems are better than they were 25 years ago. And the good news is we have heard from a number of people this morning that said they did hear the sirens. And fortunately, the Weather Service has the latest and greatest radar technology. We have that here as well. So we were fortunately able to let people know exactly the potential that these storms could cause.
These are very expensive homes that you're looking at, $200,000 or so. So you can just keep on multiplying there and figure out that this tornado caused millions of dollars of damage to the tri-state area. We also want to let you know, if you're traveling, that due to the storm damage, Interstate 71 is closed at the Pfeiffer Road interchange, specifically around the 16-mile marker. Mike Schmidt, you're standing by live right now. Why don't you tell us a little? Okay, we'll hook you up in a little bit. We understand. Okay, now we've got Mike Schmidt all hooked up. Tell us a little bit more about how traffic is doing now, and especially around the 275-71 area.
Well, we are still seeing some backups on I-275 and on I-71, but it looks like traffic is avoiding the area. 71 northbound still slow in the 275 area and around Pfeiffer, but it hasn't made it back to Montgomery yet. It was slow around the Ronald Reagan some time ago, but it appears traffic is starting to move better. And on 275 eastbound, which was backed up to Mosteller, that's now just backed up to about Route 42 or a little bit past Route 42. So things are starting to clear up a little bit. Let's take a look at our camera. Here's a look at 275 east and westbound at Mosteller. As you can see, traffic is trying to avoid the area. That's the good news. Allowed emergency crews to get to those spots, the storm damaged areas. Let's take a look at 75 southbound. Now, a lot of traffic is now heading on I-75 to avoid I-71 and the 275 area to get around this problem. But unfortunately, that means some longer delays on 75. Southbound is backed up from here, Galbraith Road, down through Paddock Road. Here's a look at 275 east and westbound at 42. Traffic is moving freely there, but they still want you to avoid those areas. I'm Mike Schmidt from the Artemis Control Center.
All right, thank you, Mike. Bethesda North Hospital, we understand, is on a disaster plan. As we take a look now, we're still on the Smart Traveler pictures, but this is the picture live from Chopper 9. Dale, you've been doing really a terrific job locating some of the major disaster, the major damage areas from the tornado that went through the tri-state area at about 5 o'clock this morning. What are we looking at here? Is it an industrial park or a shopping center?
This is actually the shopping center, Cornell. This is where the water main, if you were watching earlier, the water main was spouting out of the back. Fortunately, they have got the water shut off. I don't know that it's going to lessen any of the damage here. But as far as locating damage this morning, it hasn't been a hard task, unfortunately. This tornado left a very, very definite signature up through the Blue Ash, Montgomery, heading up in towards the Fields-Earl area.
Millions of dollars in damage.
This is the back. It appears to be a stockroom area of one of the department stores. What was that, Rich? That's TJ Maxx, according to Rich in the back. He's our photographer on board Chopper 9 right now, and also doing an excellent job. TJ Maxx, this is apparently the stockroom portion. It's opened up to everybody. It's just ripped the whole back of the department store off, as you can see. Also, several other stores damaged in this particular plaza, but the homes in this area were just totally leveled. This is minor damage compared to some of the homes that were just before and just after this shopping plaza.
In fact, Dale, we will be going down on the ground there and taking a closer look at the damage. Is that a church that we're looking at there?
Yeah, Randy, it actually is. That back wing is totally opened up, totally removed one section of it. The rest, I mean, another signature of a tornado. the one wing totally destroyed. The rest of the church was totally untouched. You know, it's amazing the precision that these things take, the tornadoes, how much damage they can do, and then 200 feet to the right or left of it, not touch anything, not damage anything.
You know, Pete, from your meteorology training, and as Dale mentioned, this left behind a signature. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the signature of this tornado, and that tells you how strong this tornado was.
You measure tornadoes on the Fujita scale, and it's a scale that goes from F0 being the weakest to F5 being the most violent. This looks to me, Randy, like it's an F1, maybe an F2. An F1 has winds of around 73 to 112 miles an hour. An F2, it's a pretty strong tornado, which I think some of this could be an F2. You got winds around 115, maybe up to 150, maybe 160 miles an hour. So the type of damage that these things cause is clearly evident right there. I mean, you get winds 150, 160 miles an hour, and that's not out of the question. Now, how they actually measure these, no wind gauge, no instrument has ever been able to stand up to a tornado. So what they actually do is they look at the houses, they see the type of, if the house is completely flattened, that's stronger.
They figure it takes 150 mile an hour wind to blow a home off its foundation.
That's exactly right.
Explode it.
That's exactly right. And if you get an F5 tornado, you may have absolutely nothing showing. You will just have like the concrete with pipes sticking out. That would be the most devastating type of tornado. But you know, we don't see this many tornadoes here in Cincinnati like this. It's just incredible, the devastation we're seeing this morning.
Dale, what are we looking at there up in the top of the picture?
That is, we're not sure what that is actually, Randy. That's right next to the BP station on the corner of Montgomery Road and not sure what the crossroad is right here, but this is just north of 275. It's Kemper Road. Rich says it's Kemper Road, Montgomery Road intersection here. Don't know whether that was a business or part of the apartment complex which sits just behind it. But as you can see, it's just totally leveled. There's nothing but debris, and its debris is scattered back about 300 yards through the subdivision and the apartment complex behind it. If we get Rich to pan to the right just a little bit, one of the apartment complexes, don't know entries on this right now. If you could pan up just a little bit, there we go. The corner of this apartment is just a pile of rubble underneath. The tornado touched it, took the corner off, opened up about 3 apartments from what I can see here, and just left the debris underneath. That's a concrete or a brick wall, and it just dissolved it like it was nothing there.
Pete, if you're in an apartment like that and a tornado hits, what do you do besides, you know, run for your life? Is there a particular room to go to if you hear the tornado?
If you can't get to the basement, which obviously is the safest place, the basement under a table is the safest place.
No basement there.
You can't do that there. Go into the bathroom. And the reason you tell people to go into the bathroom is in a bathroom you have plumbing. You've got pipes in the walls that actually act as a reinforcement. You get that reinforcement, and that's typically the strongest room in the house. That or maybe a small closet. Something that's got just a lot of reinforcements in it, and typically it's a bathroom. So you go into the bathroom if you don't have a basement, and you get in the bathtub, and you try to put something over you. You know, you see these pictures right here. You see everyone's bathtubs all the time. So you try to get into the bathtub, and hopefully you'll be safe there.
You see pictures like this, you just hope the people made it out okay. Some didn't, though, in the tri-state area. We know that there are at least 6 fatalities. That's what the Blue Ash police are telling us. 6 deaths as the result of this tornado that went through. At least 7 injuries, probably more than that. We understand that Bethesda North Hospital is on a disaster plan right now. They have lost power. They are getting power back. And we're going to go to Bob Holtzman now at Harper's Point. Bob, what's going on there?
Randy, we're in the Sims Township area, Harper's Point area of Sims Township, where the traffic is awful this morning and the damage is even worse than that. Let me show you around a little bit. We're just outside the Montgomery Baptist Church. You can see behind me, you can see all the damage here, insulation thrown all over the yard. You see trees buckled each way, trees snapped. And if we walk back a little bit further to the other side, we can show you over here on my left is an actual strip mall here. And that's Donato's you're looking at, actually a pizza store right there. The roof entirely blown off. This entire strip mall is damaged. A couple of buildings across the street are damaged. We are, again, right off Montgomery Road, in between, just north of Interstate 275 and just south of Kemper Road. So that gives you an idea of where we are. We understand that there are some homes heavily damaged just south of here. We also understand that there are some injuries. But according to deputies, sheriff's deputies here in this area, So far, no fatalities, at least. They do not know the extent of the injuries at this point. So again, it's a mess up here in Sims Township. This is obviously right where this blew through today. And I want to show you one thing over here real quick, if I could. If there's any question as to whether or not this was a tornado, we have one tree blown this way, as you can see, to the right, and the other tree blown to the left. So obviously the wind was swirling here this morning. It has caused heavy damage, and again, it has caused some injuries here in Sims Township. We will report back to you a little bit later on as we know more. Randy, back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob, for that report. On the ground there at Harpers Point, we'll try to establish a little bit better sound location from you and get a little bit better audio. We have this just in from Addiston. In Addiston, we've been focusing a lot on the Montgomery area because Chopper 9 is over that, but Addiston was also hit.
Yeah, Addiston, of course, in southern Hamilton County. It moved right across the river into northern Boone County, and you see the video right there of the damage that was caused there this morning. Chick Poppy got there around 5 o'clock this morning, I believe, and he talked to some folks there this morning, and very similar damage, Randy. I mean, you can see these houses are destroyed. Cars are flipped over. Again, this is Addiston. This is in southern Hamilton County, just on the other side of the river from Boone County. And after it left Addiston, it then moved right up through Hamilton County, and then you can definitely see the results that took place up in Blue Ash and Montgomery.
You saw that one girl with some scratches, some lacerations on the back of her hand.
She said she was trying to get out of the house, and she cut her hand as she was trying to get out.
Because of all the nails and the glass there.
Yeah.
We just got off the phone with Vice Mayor Ralph Eggleston out in Addiston. He says half the town there still without power at this hour. One home, he says, was demolished. The family was inside the home when it happened there. The family was transported to a local hospital. We're not sure which hospital, but miraculously very little to no injuries in Addiston, even though one home there destroyed. Okay, up in the control room, you mentioned something to me, and what was that? Okay, we understand Interstate 71, we've been telling you there are 6 confirmed fatalities from the early morning tornado, 2 of them occurring along the interstates, and 1 is in front of Sycamore High School. And let's take a look at this. It happened before the sunup. One of the fatal accidents happened early this morning along southbound 71. One person ejected from the blue vehicle, Donald Bush Jr. Blanchester, traveling along the same stretch when the tornado rolled through. Let's listen to him.
Like driving through a big white cloud. And then all of a sudden something started pelting my windshield real hard, and it just took control of my truck. I laid down, I throwed my body down in the seat, and I'm just riding it out, and next thing I know, my truck stopped, and I'm upside down on my seatbelt.
And this is how the red pickup truck came to rest. It was upside down on the median. Police have not released the identity of the victim, but in a situation like that, you just hang on and do what you can, because the tornado is right on top of you with anywhere from 100 to 150 mile-an-hour winds.
Without a doubt. And we saw some video a little bit earlier of the American Red Cross. They're on the scene right now. The Cincinnati chapter is responding to this damage here across the northern area of Cincinnati. And if you need assistance, you can call the Red Cross locally at 579-3000. All Red Cross assistance is provided free of cost. It's made possible by folks that just give voluntarily. And if you want to help out in any way, give the Red Cross a call, and I'm sure they would be more than happy to help you out. You can ask them about their disaster relief fund, but again, if you need help, call them locally at 579-3000. It's an incredible organization, and they'd be more than happy to help everyone out.
That's an important number that we need to mention again and again, 579-3000 for help from the American Red Cross. Dale Williams, what subdivision are we looking at here?
All right, this is part of Harpers Point. This is just north of 275, just to the west of Montgomery Road. This is one of the hardest hit areas. It's right across the interstate, right across 275 from the Sycamore High School, which this whole strip in here was probably the hardest hit in this area. You're talking probably $500,000 homes with the tops pulled off, a lot of them just totally leveled, I mean, all the way to the ground, nothing but debris. And then the houses that weren't directly hit by the tornado, a lot of them were damaged by the debris that was flying from some of the other damaged homes. I'm seeing homes with trees stuck through them, with portions of other houses stuck on them. So the damage just wasn't limited to what the tornado did directly. The debris that was scattered is just amazing up here. As Rich Wyatt's out, you can see the debris off the houses, how it's blown back considerably and doing damage to other homes that weren't hit by the tornado directly.
Dale, that's 71, I believe, to the top of the picture. Is that correct?
That's 275.
That's 275 right there, just to give us an idea of where you are again.
Right, and just off to the left of your screen, just out of view, would be Montgomery Road.
Okay.
We're just north
Okay.
of 275.
Okay. Boy, it's amazing how those huge homes, like Dale said, they're $500,000 homes, how they were just flattened.
Due to the storm damage, Interstate 71 is closed at Pfeiffer Road interchange. This is around the 16-mile marker.
And Randy, we mentioned earlier, you talk about power outages, problems with the gas leaks. That you've seen the water mains flying up in the air, the water from them. Synergy's reporting at least 200,000 people without power. One of the worst storms they have had to deal with in the last decade. So major problems all along. Just be patient with the utility folks. They're obviously out there working hand in hand with the emergency management people, doing their best to get everything restored as quickly as possible.
You look at a home like this and you just hope everyone got out okay. You know, so you're there in the morning. Suddenly the roof is gone.
And that's why we tell people.
And you were here alerting people
yeah,
very early this
and if
morning.
you hear anything that you think even remotely sounds like a bad thunderstorm, just get the kids, whatever you can, as quickly as possible, and get to the basement. That's the safest spot. Get to the basement, get under a table. You know, these NOAA weather radios that they have, I did a story about a year ago on those. Those things are just, literally, they're a lifesaver. I mean,
and they go off automatically with a tone.
They go off automatically. We also have something now here at Channel 9, and you can get on our web page, cincynow.com. We've got this new system that we're just putting out. No one else has it. It's called Weather Warn. And what we will do for you is, anytime that severe weather is approaching the county or the area that you have designated for us that you're interested in, our Weather Warn will either page you on your personal pager. It's a thing you subscribe to. It'll page you on your personal pager, or you will get an email letting you know exactly where the severe weather warning is, whether it's a tornado, it's a thunderstorm, whatever it is. And it's good information, and you know, in a case like this, Randy, it can be a lifesaver.
Let's get back to Dale Williams in Chopper 9 then, as you go over the area there of Harper's Point. How many homes, if you would count them up, how many homes are damaged there? Give us some idea of. It's hard to add all these up as you pass over them.
Randy, I would say, just guessing, in a neighborhood of probably 50 to 60 homes totally destroyed, and then I would say well in excess of 100 homes that are damaged. Probably that's really underestimated, but I mean, the homes that just the visible damage that I can see from 2,000 feet in the air, I would say well in excess of 200 or 100 homes damaged, and probably half of that homes destroyed in this area. I mean, it's the damage is phenomenal, and by destroyed I mean totally leveled. Damaged, I'm classifying a house that doesn't have a roof on it as damaged. So those estimates are probably very low, and that's not even getting into the industrial buildings that we were looking at over towards Blue Ash Airport, some of the industrial buildings with steel girders that were twisted like it was twine or something. You know, so the power of this storm was just amazing. Shopping malls destroyed. We've seen 2 shopping malls that received substantial damage, and then apartment complexes. The number's just it's just too high to figure up here. But I would say well in excess of 150 homes that are damaged or destroyed.
Yeah, the death toll has gone up since we began our coverage early this morning here on Channel 9. The death toll has now gone from 3 to 6. We understand that there are at least 7 confirmed injuries. A lot of people going to the hospital with cuts and lacerations as a result of blowing glass. Neighbors and police just meeting out there in the middle of the street, assessing what to do now as a result of their lives being drastically changed when the tornado went through there at about 4:52, 5 o'clock this morning. We understand the Tri-Health Fitness Center is closed in the Kenwood area because windows there have been blown out and because of roof damage. Cardiac rehabilitation also canceled at Tri-Health Fitness. We mentioned earlier before about Bethesda North. They are on a disaster plan because they lost power there. They understand that they brought power back up now. People are being brought in, none in critical condition. They say just strictly lacerations and bruises. We understand now as many as 12 people in the ER at Bethesda North. So the number of injuries relatively low when you consider all the homes that are damaged. And we have some ground pictures from Harpers Point to show you as well. So let's crank that up and take a look at that. Some of the ground level shots. You see all the insulation blown out under the ground. There was an apartment complex hit in that area near where these pictures were taken. We're just looking at them.
Yeah, that's right there, right across from Deshays Restaurant, Randy. I used to go to that Cleaners, actually.
And you see all the glass there.
Yeah. Boy, that's just incredible, isn't it, to see those types of things? And you know, you see these things so often in other parts of the country, and then when you see it actually in your own backyard, it really kind of hits home.
You realize, yes, it really can happen here. It really can happen to our lives and change lives drastically. The city of Blue Ash wants people to know areas to the north of Pfeiffer Road are restricted to emergency vehicles only. They say traffic is at a standstill in some areas, although as we look at some of these residential pictures live from Chopper 9 that Dale Williams has been showing us, really there hasn't been too much of a traffic bottleneck back in the damaged areas. So police are doing their job to keeping sightseers out and keeping only the people that need to get in there, such as the urban search and rescue teams, which in some places are going house to house in case police find out that, well, not everyone's been accounted for here, so we'll send searchers in. We understand the director of the Hamilton County Emergency Services is headed to the scene now, and he'll be assessing that. Governor Taft in Columbus is being briefed on the situation down here. He was awoken some 2 hours after all this happened, so he was awoken around 7 o'clock this morning. And if you need help, here are 2 phone numbers we want to give you right now. The American Red Cross, an 800 number, 1-800-HELP-NOW, and also 579-3000. These are for people in need of assistance to call. If you need shelter, if you need blankets, food, if your home's been destroyed and you can get to a phone, that's the number to call. Let's recap now, since it is 9 o'clock here and you're listening to WCPO TV in Cincinnati, Ohio. You're looking at some of the damage in the Harpers Point area. Dale Williams in Chopper 9 tells us some 150 homes damaged in the Montgomery Blue Ash area. Pete Delkus, you've been here throughout the night. Since it's the top of the hour, why don't you reassess for us and just reset how all these storms, how this one storm actually developed and how it went across the tri-state area?
We were watching a line of thunderstorms yesterday afternoon back in western Missouri as it moved in our direction as we went through the night. We had mentioned during the newscast several times that we had the chance for severe weather. We also knew that it was going to happen overnight. I think I even said 2, 4, 5 o'clock. Unfortunately, around actually at 4:02 this morning, the first tornado warning was issued for Ripley County. Now, Ripley County's in southeast Indiana. That was the first tornado warning. It wasn't actually spotted on the ground. Doppler radar had indicated the signature of a tornado. At 4:17, one of the National Weather Service's spotters actually spotted a tornado in southeast Indiana in Ripley County. Then we followed that tornado through southeast Indiana, through Ripley County, right past the hospital in Aurora and Lawrenceburg as well. That, of course, is in Dearborn County. Everyone's familiar with Lawrenceburg and Aurora over there. And then it moved into northern Boone County, right along the river, and then it crossed over, moved right into Addiston, which is in southern Hamilton County, and then it moved just right up, almost right along Interstate 71. And as it moved north through Hamilton County, the pictures that you're now seeing are the results of that tornado that moved through Blue Ash and Montgomery. As it continued to move north of 275, it moved into Warren and then into right around Lebanon and then on up into, continued past Butler County and Clinton County. So it finally did fizzle out, but not before we have all this, this devastation in its wake.
One of the first hit areas in Hamilton County was Addiston. It happened this morning around, as you mentioned, around 4:15, 4:30 or so. Our Chick Poppy spoke with a homeowner there.
Okay, and you live in that house?
Yes, I did. I did live in that house.
Tell me what you heard and saw.
Lord only knows. I can't tell you. I got up to get ready to go to work, and I was saying my prayers, and the next thing I know, I'm looking at the outside. Our daughter's room was right next to ours, And when I looked and realized what happened, I said, oh my God, my baby's is dead or whatever, you know, and I called her name and she was under some debris. And with the house, half the house out, we just all walked out. It was an act of God. It was a miracle that we got out of there.
Certainly what a lot of people are saying. It was a miracle we escaped alive. As you look at those damaged pictures in Addiston from early this morning, just around 5 o'clock. That's when these pictures were taken, 5 or 6 o'clock. And now let's go to the way it looks right now, live from Chopper 9. This is the area up in Harper's Point, in the Montgomery area. Some of the 150 homes that Dale Williams estimates he's seen as he has flown over them and destroyed. Many of the homes destroyed, like the one you're looking at there. Dale, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on there? I don't see a lot of people around these homes. I do see a car there that seems to have been left in one of the garages, but I don't see a lot of people there.
Right, isn't that amazing? The house or the car was left in the garage. However, the garage was removed from the car. Right now, the emergency crews, I believe, are busing. I've seen numerous of the Metro buses in the area. I believe that most of the people around this particular area that's destroyed have been bused over to Sycamore High School. I see the buses over there now looking across the interstate. I am still seeing fire trucks patrolling the area. I believe they're searching for survivors, people who may have been removed from their home and slung away. They're just searching the area for anybody who may need help. Fire trucks are just roaming up and down the streets in the area, and not just particularly the area that's destroyed. They're looking through the whole neighborhood in this area. People in some of the houses that weren't destroyed or damaged are coming out to evaluate their yards because a lot of the debris was strewn this way. We're almost probably a quarter of a mile from the hardest hit area, and debris is still throughout the yards in this particular subdivision.
We see some of the school buses there, a yellow school bus, also the Metro bus on the left side of the picture. While we're talking about schools here, we want to let you know that Sycamore School System is closed today. That the high school has been turned into a Red Cross disaster center. Some families, as you mentioned before, Dale, are being taken there. And we also have some other school closings we want to tell you about. Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy is closed. Indian Hill Exempted, closed. But we understand that the parent-teacher conferences for kindergarten through 5th grade still will begin in 1 hour at 10 o'clock. Milford Exempted, closed. Stepping Stone Center closed. Sycamore Schools, as we mentioned, closed as well. And you think if this school system was open, if this would have happened just 2 hours later when everyone was going to school, what would have been the damage then? Yeah, I mean, it's bad enough as it is, but, you always have to look on the brighter side of things. And, Dale and you, Randy, you guys pointed out that car that was sitting there next to that house. It's interesting, but I've been out to several of these sites in the past, and I have seen not only cars sitting there and not being touched, but I remember surveying a site one time, a tornado site, and a man's lawnmower was still in place. Everything else in his garage was like in the neighbor's yard, but the lawnmower was still sitting there where the guy left it, and that was the only thing that he could find was that lawnmower. It hadn't been touched. So tornadoes are, boy, they just pick and choose where they want to go, and you can clearly see this one just bounced. It just skipped all over Montgomery and Blue Ash. This is a reference point for you. This is Sycamore High School. This is the disaster center that the Red Cross has set up. You can see the big red pluses on the sides of the vehicles there. And we're zooming into this yellow tarp that's out there. Dale, I know you've just been flying over. You can't really tell for sure, but what's your speculation about what's going on there?
I'm not really sure what they're doing there. Usually they set the tarps up as some sort of decon or area to take care of injuries. We're trying to see what this actually is and can't tell. There are a lot of, looks like firefighters there. A lot of times working in these type environments, you have biohazard contamination and stuff like that, and they'll actually decontaminate the firefighters on these tarps. I don't know that that's what they're doing here, but it does look like a group of firefighters by the tarp.
That is, as you mentioned, a decontamination area. Certainly the Blue Ash Commercial Park is nearby there. The industrial park is nearby there. No telling what's in some of those companies. As you mentioned, there are some hazardous chemicals in there. And so as a result, firefighters just wanting to be careful. That is the industrial park, Dale?
Right. This is the one that's just north of the Blue Ash Airport that was also hard hit. Some of the buildings here, as you can imagine, the steel girders in the roof. Matter of fact, the one Rich is looking at right there on the top right corner of your screen. We were looking at it earlier, and I mean, the steel girders were just twisted around like they were made of rubber. The power was amazing, and you can see the two buildings there. The tornado passed between the two, and only the end that came in contact with the tornado was destroyed. The other ends are perfectly intact. I mean, it's just amazing the line that this thing can do, causing this much damage, and yet 25 feet away, nothing was disrupted.
Meteorologist Dave Roberts was down there in that area. He mentioned that there is a smell of smoke. I see a bit of a traffic backup there. What road is that, Dale?
That is I-71. This is where the truck was flipped over. I believe right now they're working on getting the truck out of the ditch. I can't see exactly what they're doing. But yeah, Dave Roberts was in the area, and also Lunken Tower had called us with a concern of gas. So we've gone up considerably in our altitude. A lot of gas mains broken in this area, particularly in the industrial area here. So that is also a local worry right now, is the potential for a gas explosion.
And Dale, you had also mentioned that if we can pan back just a little bit, pan down, you'd mentioned that there's bulldozers on the interstate, and you could see it right there, trying to scoop up some of the debris and just clean things up just a little bit.
Right, Pete. They've been working at this all morning. This is where the tornado hopped 71, cut the corner across, and headed for 275 up towards Harper's Point area. And like we've been saying all morning, I mean, it's just a definite line from 2,000 feet in the air right now. It's a very definite line that's almost drawn across the ground at this tornado, where he hopped across the road, tore up the houses, the woods, industrial parks, malls, anything in its path was destroyed.
And this probably took place right around 5:30, because the first warning for Hamilton County was issued at 4:52. And that, of course, was down there right around Addiston when that warning was issued.
Hey, Dale, how you doing on gas? You've been up for a couple hours here. You doing okay?
Yeah, Randy, we've got about another 15 minutes left here, and then we're going to have to go look for a gas station.
All right. Well, we just wanted to ask you that sort of impromptu over the air here as we do this all live here on television and look at the devastation left behind by the tornado. 6 fatalities in this tornado, 12 people injured. You counted up and you estimated 150 homes. We understand that the Hamilton County Disaster Emergency Services personnel will have a better figure for that for you later today on that. We also have phone numbers. If you know of a loved one who lives in this area, and they need help, perhaps they've called you, let them know that the Red Cross does have a number to help out, and that is 579-3000. That is the number that you should call if you are in need of assistance from the Red Cross, either shelter, food, or... And if you have power problems, we have another phone number for you to call. This is the Synergy folks. The Synergy number is Red Cross Shelters, Sycamore Junior High, one of them. Stepping Stone Center's closed, Milford Exempted closed, Indian Hills Christian Academy closed. I believe Indian Hill Exempted is closed. Let me make sure. Yes, Indian Hill Exempted closed, but parent-teacher conferences will continue. So the lives of many people changed, hundreds of lives changed at 5 o'clock this morning in the tri-state from the tornado. We're awaiting word on the progress of all the Synergy crews going out, 200,000 people without power. We understand, they tell us that Synergy is operating under a level 3 storm emergency, and that's an area that they haven't hit, a level that they had not hit in terms of preparedness in 10 years. The areas that they're hearing the hardest hit are Blue Ash, Montgomery, and West Sailor Park. And they are calling in staff from outlying areas, but they haven't yet called the Dayton area. So the Dayton area is still a reserve up there. But you see from these, this is file tape from Chopper 9 of the police and fire. You see the Red Cross units in the areas. Also, we want to mention the urban search and rescue teams are searching through each home, especially in the Montgomery area. Montgomery police confirmed there, the police chief there confirming that 25 homes are destroyed in the Montgomery area.
Now, we just found out our website, cincynow.com, is being overwhelmed by people from not only here in Cincinnati trying to get on this site to find out all the latest, but people from around the country are trying to get on also. Just be patient. We've got thousands of people right now trying to get the latest information. People are also, Randy, trying to subscribe to our Weather Warn, the system that I just told you about. Be patient. You can subscribe to that as well.
And the weather today is going to be nice, so there's no reason to immediately
Absolutely.
go on today. You can do it later on.
We have sunshine today. We have sunshine in the forecast for tomorrow as well. But this Weather Warn, it's an incredible free service that we're providing here that possibly can save lives. And all you do is you subscribe on cincynow.com. You get a page at home. You can get email at home from us. And you will get the warnings that the National Weather Service issues. As soon as they issue them, you will get paged. It's simultaneously done.
So keep trying if you're interested in that. But there's no reason to
rush
go
right now.
on
That's
today
right.
and just it'll happen.
Yeah, and we've got sunshine today. Today, as Jay Schatz had mentioned, it's a nice spring day here for us, and we've got a nice forecast for tomorrow. By tomorrow night, we do have some thunderstorms, but today's going to be pretty nice. And there you take a peek at the 5-day forecast right there. We do have some thunderstorms back in the forecast tomorrow night. We're going to have to watch those as well. But overall, I think the weekend and the rest of today is going to be pretty nice. Randy.
All right, good. Well, I know that there have been a number of homes destroyed by this tornado. The edge of the storm may have damaged your home, and because of that, we have John Matarese, 9 on your side here, to tell us a little bit more about what to do.
At the very